Okay, there we go. Couldn't find my intro. This week from GNC Week in Review, powered by GeekNewsCentral.com. Tesla is doing well. Netflix is not doing so well. And after a month of streaming on air, CNN Plus is shutting down. Those are some of the tech news stories from this week. And it's Friday, April 22nd. Stop that, 2022. My name is Kirk Corliss.
And I'm Scott Ertz.
And this episode 104 of the GNC Week in Review podcast, proud partner of the Tech Podcast Network. David Seconds here. Thank you so much for tuning in for this week's episode. Stop doing that. We are live on GNCweekly.com/live, so please be sure to say hello and chat or comment. Also, be sure to like and subscribe to the GNCWIR. Keep going. GNCWIR channel on YouTube. Keep going. If you missed a live video, that's okay. You can always catch the replay later. If you are a listener, please be sure to subscribe to the podcast, where you can find in the right-hand side column at GNCweekly.com, be it Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. If you have a comment be it on social media or email, and those links can be found at GNCweekly.com/connect. So that's okay, Scott. You can keep dancing. That's okay.
I was just messing with you.
I know you were. I know you were. No worries. It's all good. But I enjoy watching because I'm doing the intro and watching you groove. It's the best. I love it.
Great music.
It is.
I totally understand now why when we introduced the music that we used for the Pilch Point, like 8 or 9 years ago, when we introduced it, I can see a preview in the old days before Avram was on the whole show. I can see a preview of Avram, and he's like rocking out to his music. I get it now.
He still does.
It's very different when you don't have responsibilities.
You're right. No, he still it still does, especially not only the Pilch Point intro, but the intro for Paul Gets Live intro. He does it, but I still love watching you dance. I love it because because when I'm doing it too, and like the back of my mind in my soul, I'm dancing my head as well. So, but this is great music, so that's why I love it.
It really is.
Love it so much.
I totally understand Avram now. I totally get it.
It's good. It's a nice beat. Got 9.8 on the scale. So, so we're glad to be back after a couple weeks. Yeah, couple weeks. Yeah, last week was Easter. So it was great having Shannon Morris on last episode. Great time. We got the so a couple of things we're jumping into news. We're going to do news because we got under time constraint somewhat. So, but a couple of things I want to jump in and mention is we have a giveaway that can be found at GNCweekly.com/giveaway. And you can get some really cool CES swag, some TPN merch, and Shannon sent in a goodie bag. And I showed this to Scott off air earlier. I'm going to open this again. I'm going to try to, and it's like kind of like a Raspberry Pi twinkly little device. So we're going to do this really quick. And I'm doing this on air, so if I don't, So you have this. I just dropped it all over. This little penguin, I think it is.
Is that what it is? Oh, I thought it was an evil snowman.
Yeah.
Oh, it could definitely be a penguin.
Yeah. It's got
when you see the back and you see what appears to be the smile that's all like goopy from the back. Oh, right. It makes it look evil, and I can't get that out of my head.
I don't want to scare this guy, or I don't want to scare anyone's dreams or anything like that. Also a threat wire, because she has a shop and also does a YouTube channel, Threat Wire. A lot of hacks and stuff like that. So I have this. Whoop, back that. And that's pretty cool. What else? I just had the other stuff too. Hold on 1 second. I think that was it. Was something else? I think it was. I think I had.
There was a sticker or a
it was a sticker
or something.
Yeah, it was this. See, I don't want to drop things all over the floor here, all over the place. No, it was these two, and it was this sticker, but it's a little bent, and I apologize, but
that one.
Yeah, it's a little bent, and also there's some stickers like Oh, here we go. No, this is the one you're talking about. This is
Looks
it.
like a little rabbit or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a Raspberry Pi thing. So if you hook up to Raspberry Pi and there's some stickers.
Then you can
this one,
read your neighbor's mind.
and this one I love.
Nice.
Yeah, trust your technolust. She is so cool. I mean, she's got some really cool stickers, and also, and
nice
photo.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's my favorite so far.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So thanks to her for donating this stuff. It's really, really cool. So gncweekly.com/giveaway. I will make sure that this goes out to one lucky person. Only, also, P.S. in the United States only. I'm not doing we're not doing international because shipping is expensive.
Yes.
So please,
like I said, we might be able to. If you're in Canada, we might be able to work something out.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly right.
We're probably not going to ship this to Australia.
No. God, no.
Unless you pay for shipping. If you want to pay for shipping on this stuff, the person who wins, go ahead and apply.
Right. Yeah. We're not. There's nothing. We're not. We're all to. I know there's some that are listening.
We'll let you Zelle us, and you pay for shipping, and things are fine. But outside of that,
outside of that, yeah, exactly. So so definitely. So thank you to Shannon for donating this stuff. So definitely go to gncweekly.com/giveaway. It's in the links in the show notes. It's on our YouTube channel. Channel. Duh. I'm so out of it.
It happens.
Yeah, right. See, every time I'm so prepared, I'm ready to go, and then for whatever reason, it just kind of goes off the rails. And you know what? That's why we love this podcast, so much.
We can do what we want.
Exactly right. So the other thing I wanted to mention, Scott, Plug Us Live wants your input. So why don't you tell the listeners/viewers what exactly is going on and what you're planning to do?
Sure. Definitely. So I know there's a lot of crossover between our audiences. So,
right.
So we're trying to figure out who our audience is for Plug Hits Live. So plughitslive.com/audience. Definitely go over there. It takes 60 seconds to fill this thing out. We're just trying to get an idea of who the average listener, viewer, reader for our site is. Fill it out. Honestly, 60 seconds. And we're going to do, I think, 2 prize packs is what I said. Some CES stuff, some F5 Live, some Plug Hits Live merch. And again, it takes you 60 seconds to fill out, and it'll help us out greatly. So plughitslive.com/audience. Definitely, cool. If this is part of our crossover audience, definitely come over there and fill it out for us.
Well, I definitely wanted to, this is cross promotion. We're being on Tech Podcast Network and everything. So we want to bring as much content for between sites and what have you. And I wanted to at least call that, I want to call it out, and I have it all posted on our GNC Facebook page, Week in Review page, Twitter page. I believe I'll double check and make sure about that. But yeah, definitely go over there. I'm biased. I love Plug Us Live. I've been watching it. I've been watching it for the past few years. So it's a great week of tech news and gaming and movie, video streaming, what have you. So definitely check it out Sunday evenings, 9 p.m. Eastern time, f5live.tv/join us. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So with that,
also we're talking about doing billboards. So if you've got an idea of what would catch your eye for a billboard, an idea of maybe a digital billboard that you've seen that has worked, let us know.
Yeah. Absolutely. And definitely let us know also here, on gncweekly.com/connect on Twitter, Facebook, email. Definitely let us know. And I was telling Scott off air, I'm in. So I'll definitely I'll throw in the
it seems
throw in the coin.
it seems like an interesting idea.
Yeah.
There's an inexpensive way to do it as a trial. I'd love to give it a shot, see what it does. I want to coincide it with the launch of our new website, which is getting real close to being ready. I'm super excited about it.
Well,
I'm working on it hard this week.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Like, I don't want to see my own site for a little while because I spent so much time in it.
Well, I was telling Scott, that, off air that's that I'm coming down to see him in down Tampa in October, and I said I would love to see that billboard. I'll take photos of it and everything. So, but yeah, definitely, yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And our site slowly, gradually building, little by little. We're gonna get it. Hopefully, I'm hoping our logo is coming. Cross our fingers. Cool. Okay. Cool. Just
Yeah,
make sure.
Alante, did you hear that?
Okay. Yes. Awesome. Okay. Cool. So, because little by little, we want to incorporate a lot of things in music. The intro music. I want to incorporate some little things. The logo. To bring up, because the site's been up for 3 years, so I want to bring as much out as we can. Good, great content. Cool stuff. And more, and so more to come. But yeah. All right. So with that, let's dive in the news this week. So on last week's episode, we, along with Shannon, dissected the news about Elon Musk who wants to buy Twitter for $43 billion, and wondered why he wanted to buy Twitter, and surmised his dealings with so many things going on in his world and also in his head. And also wondering, well, what's going on with his other companies like Tesla, for example. Well, it's reported that Tesla earned a $3.3 billion, that's a B, profit in the first quarter of 2022. Tesla turned that profit on just over $18.7 billion in revenue. This is coming from Tesla. That represents an 81% increase year over year compared to $10.4 billion in revenue in Q1 2021.
Yeah, they weren't doing great last year.
Well, this kind of proves that they're doing well now.
They were having trouble with production because of all the stuff that was happening in California, and that obviously all of that was going to cause problems. This is almost a double year over year. That's awesome. Good for them.
And the earnings report also follows a robust quarter for delivery and production of Tesla. The company said it sent 310,048 vehicles to its customers in Q1 2022. He described that feat as, quote, exceptionally difficult, and this is where you're leading to, citing global supply chain issues,
partially, yeah,
and the closure of the company's factory in Shanghai, and rising COVID case numbers. Despite that, Elon Musk also predicted on earnings call the company will be able to ramp up production and make 1.5 million cars this year. Tesla said it delivered 295,324 Model 3 and Model Y vehicles, while 14,724 were for the Model S and X. Deliveries increased slightly from the previous quarter. 308,600 deliveries now pace the 184 shipments Tesla made in the first quarter of 2021, representing a 68% year-over-year increase on the production side of things. Tesla said it built a total of 305,407 vehicles during the past 3 months. So Tesla is doing well. So Elon,
it's interesting.
So
68% year over year production increase, or shipment increase, but an 81% year over year revenue increase.
Right.
That's what happens when you start raising the price on the cars without changing anything in them.
Right.
Which is absolutely what has happened, I think, twice over the last 12 months.
And it's surprising that because people that I was speaking to, my family were talking about getting an electric vehicle, and where I live here in New Jersey in Hamilton, there isn't any charging stations or charging. The nearest one is in Princeton, which is roughly about 30 minutes away from me. Okay. The next one I know of, I believe there's a charging station.
If you're having to charge within that close of your house, then you've done it wrong.
Right. And I was debating on it. And also, too, the next one that I know of is in East Windsor from me, which is about 30 minutes, roughly 30 minutes away. Okay. So and to be honest with you, it's like buku expensive. And I don't see, where I live.
But you should be charging it at home.
Exactly.
Where it should be way less expensive.
Exactly.
Although the price per mile, when you look at it, starts to, I mean, right now a little less so, but under normal circumstances, the price per mile is semi-comparable.
Right. So my whole
it's
thing
way
is,
out of proportion when you charge offsite.
Right. So my whole thing is that I would love to get one. They're great vehicles, but I just can't see, it's too expensive for me. Way too expensive.
Yeah.
And and also there's talk about you're getting the tax incentives, which isn't going to be much, and they're supposedly taking that away, and
we'll see.
So yeah, we'll see what happens.
My current dream electric vehicle is not a Tesla. Sorry, Elon. It's still an FF91. Elon Musk hasn't given me an interview, but Faraday Future has. I've put my hands on that car. But it's way more expensive when it launches, hopefully later this year or beginning of next year. It's going to be like 7x on the Model 3.
Holy crap.
Yeah, wow. It's expected to be about 200K. So unless I can talk them out of one, which I don't suspect I'll be able to, I don't see having one, but it's my current dream electric.
Nothing wrong with having that dream, but also you speaking to Tesla or speaking to Elon Musk, is the chance of that happening or beyond slim to none.
I don't know. With him out there trying to get as much attention as possible, he's turning into Fauci with the way he's out there talking to everybody right now.
But also too, he's been tweeting a lot. He's been really he wants, and he's securing financing to 2 different banks.
If you're a fan of vague references to the word tender, then Elon Musk's Twitter feed right now is the place for you.
I still, and we talked about this. I talked to it on the last episode that he should. My whole thing is that he's got Tesla is doing amazingly well. Starlink is doing amazingly well. P.S. Todd Cochran is dangerously close to getting his satellite. He is
end of the month, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
He's supposed to have it within a week.
Yep. He is so primed and ready. I mean, he is so giddy, and
he was a year ago.
Oh my goodness gracious. I mean, yeah, really.
He was bouncing off the walls for this a year ago. I haven't talked to him on purpose, because I imagine he's going to be unbearably excited right now.
He exumes. I mean, he's exumes enthusiastically about getting it.
Yeah, but I bet.
But my whole thing is, again, and this goes back to what I said before, is that concentrate on what's doing what's doing well. Why use Twitter?
It's never been his thing, and it's why he's been successful.
Right.
Again, I wasn't on his side in the PayPal thing, but the fact that they started doing it,
right,
as they put together a fully functional payment system as an example of their encryption technology.
Right.
His life has never been about focusing on one thing. And it's what's worked for him. So Peter Thiel, a guy who likes to focus on one thing. PayPal was the thing he was trying to focus on at the time. But Elon's never been a focus down on one thing kind of guy. It's the reason why you've got Tesla and Tesla's now making roof tiles.
Right.
Right. You've got Tesla that makes cars and roof tiles. You've got Starlink. You've got SpaceX. Right. You've got the Boring Company, which, by the way, of all of them, best name.
Right.
Good on you. Best name. He made a flamethrower.
Right.
He made and commercialized a flamethrower.
Right.
So focusing on one thing has never been his thing. His thing is do a thing, build it up, find the right people, and let it run. Find a thing, build it up, get the right people, let it run. That's his thing. And it's working real well. I think when he inevitably, and sorry guys, there's no way you're going to stop it. When he inevitably buys Twitter by the end of May, honestly, by the end of April, but I'm giving him some slack. By the end of May, when he's inevitably in charge of Twitter, within a week, he will have fired the board of directors and anybody with a chief in their name.
Well, speaking of that, the CEO has only been there for like not even like a month, if that too. So I mean,
yeah, because I love this name for him, Hipster Rasputin. Jack Dorsey stepped down in November, I think, as CEO,
right?
And is leaving the board by the end of May, which is why I think that timetable of end of May makes sense. But I think he'll clear the board. He'll clear anybody who's got a C in their name.
Right.
And put people in that he knows and trusts, and then let it run and not be hands-on. That's it. That's why he's able to do so many things. He's not day-to-day hands-on, but here's
the question. Do you think that if he's successful with these companies, do you think that Twitter will be just as successful as Starlink and Tesla? See, that's what exactly. So
no, I think buying Twitter is less of a business move and more of a charitable donation. I think he recognizes that social media is in trouble right now.
Right.
And Twitter is visibly the most obvious place to go. He can't fix Facebook. It's too late for Facebook. He can't fix YouTube because Google will never give it up. Twitter is independent. Twitter doesn't own a lot of assets other than itself.
Right.
So I think he sees it as the place where free speech meets town hall can exist.
Well, that's
Gab's not it. Because Gab has a taint on it. Parler's not it for the same reason. It's just there's no way. Parler's a fine platform.
Right.
I have an account.
So do I.
Parler's a fine platform.
Yeah.
It's not evil and hateful like people try to make it out to be. It's not where January 6th was planned. That was Twitter.
Right. I agree. I just honestly don't think
but people can't get past that on Parler. There is a more positive public perception about Twitter and its possibility than there is Parler or Gab or Freedom Social or whatever Trump's stupid thing is.
Truth.social or
whatever.
Social. Yeah, right.
Another platform that cannot succeed because it has Trump attached.
Right. I agree. I know that he's all in on free speech and the First Amendment, and I get that, and I'm totally, God bless the man. I agree with him
because he's from a part of the world, because he's not American by birth.
That's true.
He's American by choice. And I heard one of the funniest things I've heard was that he will be the first African American owner of a social network, which is hilarious. Calling him African American, because he absolutely is, and that's hilarious to me. But he's from a part of the world where that doesn't really exist.
That's true too.
And so he knows the difference between living without it and living with it, and he wants to make sure that we don't end up living without it. I think it's a noble goal. I think he's fully aware that Twitter could never turn a profit.
Right, and that was my take on it. That's my take on it, to put $40 billion plus where he's successful with these companies, and to drop that much money into the social network that has been criticized.
It's generally the money in his couch cushions. He's not worried about 43
billion. I know it's a drop in the bucket. I get that. I mean, but me personally, again, that's what
this is him. Honestly, I think this is partially him trying to make up for some past social mistakes. I think it's also him recognizing a path that he's worried about. And this is community service more than it is a business.
Yeah,
that's my feelings on this.
That makes, I agree. I
haven't heard him say anything exactly to that effect. There was an interview this week that I saw that gets me there a little bit,
right,
because of the things he was talking about. He didn't talk about Twitter specifically in those terms, but he was talking about all the things around it.
It was a TED Talk, I think it was.
It was after the TED Talk. He did an actual interview this week. That was enlightening. His current place that he is mentally.
Got it.
So,
well, I don't know. I don't know, but again, I just think if it was me for that kind of money, I couldn't invest in that. I would put money.
I couldn't either. I couldn't invest in Twitter. I couldn't buy a single share. I know that the stock price is going to go up.
Oh, absolutely.
And I can't buy stock in it, knowing it's going to go up.
Right. I just couldn't good conscience, and that's why we talked about it, last episode. But Shannon, I think, with the $1 billion, if I had that kind of money vested in, again, education and getting broadband internet, to the masses, to underdeserved communities.
There might be a bigger plan here. We have to see what because he doesn't generally do things impulsively.
Yeah.
So there might be a bigger plan here, and I look forward to seeing what he's up to.
Same here. I would love to see what happens, but I've been using Twitter before. I was on Twitter at all, but now I'm on it to follow, not necessarily him per se, but I follow you and Pluggets, and I follow Disney news of the week, what's going on in the world. I'm only for like a half hour tops. Yeah. And I post up, for us as well, for the site and the podcast. But I'm just kind of curious what's going to happen next. But like I said,
interesting.
We'll see.
He has leveraged his to bring it back to the original topic. He has leveraged his Tesla stock to secure the funding.
Right. That was one of the
for what looks like is going to be a tender offer takeover.
Right. That was one of the, he secured the funding. And I think through a bank. I'm not necessarily, was it a bank or was it?
I think it was Merrill.
That's it. Okay.
Merrill or Goldman. But he leveraged his stake in Tesla to do it.
Yeah.
He's using Tesla as his collateral. It's a big deal.
It is. It's a big deal.
He's confident in the thing he's doing because he's leveraging Tesla to do it. So
well, like I said, TBD. Yeah. All right. Next up, Jen Thorpe, staff writer with Geek News Central, reporting, and a lot of other news sites, tech news sites, reporting this, which blew my mind. Netflix reported a loss of 200,000 subscribers in the first quarter. Its first decline in paid users in more than a decade, and warned of deepening troubles ahead. This is from CNBC's all reporting this. According to CNBC, Netflix shares cratered more than 25% in extended hours after a report on more than full days worth of trading volume. Fellow streaming Roku, Spotify, and Disney also tumbled in the after-hours market after Netflix's brutal update. Netflix recently promised information to its shareholders. Here are some key points.
In fairness, Disney's stock has been falling for almost a year. They're down like I think the number I saw was 81% year over year. This is a bonus.
For
Disney's decline. And they got a lot more going on than that.
Exactly. And there's also other news about Disney Plus in a little bit. Netflix stated, quote, in the near term, though, we are not growing revenue as fast as we'd like. COVID clouded the picture by significantly increasing our growth in 2020, leading us to believe that most of our slowing growth in 2021 was due to the COVID pull forward. Now, we believe there are four main interrelated factors at work, and I'm only going to go over one of them. You'll see the article on the show notes. But one thing that kind of like stuck out for me and a lot of people has been important. In addition to our 222 million paying households, we estimate Netflix is being shared with over 100 million additional households. that means that people are sharing other people's networks passwords.
Yeah. Happens a lot.
Yeah. Including over 30 million in the UCAN region. Account sharing as a percentage of our paying membership hasn't changed much over the years, but coupled with the first factor means it's harder to grow membership in many markets, an issue that is obscured by our COVID growth. So they're cracking hard, and I believe we covered this a while back or on Geek Room Central, that they're going to crack down. They're starting in a couple of countries, I think in Italy or Spain, where they're going
I think you're right on both of those.
Yeah, where they're going to start to, if you put in someone else's password in, they're going to like, no. either get a membership or
there's a whole verification process that you've already had to go through. And it's going to get more strenuous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this was reported widely about it, and I have Netflix, and of course I'm on a family plan with myself, my wife, my daughter. So, I'm loving Netflix. I mean, I'm watching I got a lot of stuff in my queue. But hopefully Netflix is gonna, and also supposedly from what I saw as well, reporting to possibly thinking about pay subscriptions with ads. They're talking about as well.
They're absolutely talking about it. They've talked about it publicly.
Right.
They're focusing on it harder. It's something that we've talked about on F5. The idea that more services are doing how Hulu started, and having this multi-tier option, so that there's a less expensive baseline option. One of the things that I noticed, though, I've just got to point it out. One of the things I noticed in their explanation for what happened, they didn't talk about content. And I'll tell you, a lot of people are letting go because of content. Avram talks about it all the time, where he's always on the verge of cutting it. And then they'll release one show, and he's like, I think it's enough to hold on to next month. But there's a lot of controversial, really, really controversial stuff that they've been posting, that has lost them subscribers. Cuties is a good example. And as much as I find it hilarious, I know not everybody does. Big Mouth has been really controversial, and the HR companion series, they publish a lot of controversial stuff. This really weird documentary about Abercrombie and Fitch, which is like 25% half naked people. But I mean, that's what A&F is, right? Especially in the 90s. Think about their advertisement in the 90s. How did they sell clothes? By not putting their models in them.
I know. You're right. I just see that. You're right. I saw that. You're right.
But they put a lot of controversial stuff out there, and I think they're spending a lot of money on stuff that is actually driving customers away. And that 200,000 number is false. They've been advertising it as 200,000, but it's 900,000.
Oh, really?
Because they shut Russia off.
Oh, yeah.
Cutting another 700,000 paid subscribers. So they lost nearly 1 million paid subscribers in the quarter. Now, 700 of them was their own decision, but that, whether you do it on purpose or on accident, that's 1 million paid subscribers that aren't signing you a check every month. That's an even bigger deal than the 200,000 that they're trying to represent it as.
Maybe
luckily investors saw 200 plus 700 and went, "Oh, nope, 900. That's not 200,000." So that's what we've seen with the number, right?
I think
the stock price is because people saw it and went, "Oh no, it's not 200." Misrepresentation. You lost 900,000.
Yeah, I think this has been probably when it was reported. That I guess maybe it was the U.S. and I didn't know they lost in Russia. Okay, that was news.
They cut Russia off.
Okay,
as part of the Ukrainian thing.
Okay,
they cut Russia off. So whether you do it on purpose or on accident, that's still 700,000 subscribers that there aren't on your service anymore.
Right,
bringing it to a total of 900,000 that were lost in the first quarter, which is not better. but when you just look at the 200, the first negative growth in over a decade.
Yeah, that's.
I listen to lots of different shows. I listen to lots of different people, and I can tell you there is a segment, about half the country, that is walking away from Netflix and Disney right now. And we're going to see that 200,000. My guess is that 200,000 is just the beginning.
It's going to go up, yeah.
If they don't start paying attention. They got a movie called, I don't remember what it's called, but He's Expecting.
I saw that. I saw a trailer for it.
How do you not think that that's going to push people off your platform?
I see. I agree
with it. Agree with that worldview or not? But
I can't.
If that's the stuff that you're focusing on, which so much of the content is in that arena these days, if that's what you're focusing on, of course you're going to lose subscribers.
I saw that trailer and I was like, no. I'm watching some classic TV shows, Knight Rider for one. I love Knight Rider. I think when I was a kid, I fantasized that, I dreamt that, that car, and I'm watching it right now. And I think I'm almost toward the tail end of the third season now. And I'm watching, and I got saved Queer Eye. I have saved. Is that Cake? Is that the name of it?
Is it Cake?
Is it Cake? Yeah. I got that.
It's so funny.
Is it? Okay, good.
You have to go into it knowing that it is for sure staged. There's no doubt in my mind that this is a staged competition.
Yeah, don't tell me don't do any spoilers because I haven't.
There's one particular episode. I think it's the second one that you're going to be like, what? How did that happen? Did somebody spray them in the eyes, the judges, before this episode, or is this staged? This is staged.
Yeah, so I had that one.
Still funny.
Good.
It's nailed it.
Okay, good. Because I have a few others. I saw a few others, and I think that if things don't come across my eye that I would love watching, then I'm probably going to dump it. But I can't dump it because again,
Stranger Things is coming.
I haven't seen it.
Then once Stranger Things is over in June, then I can make an informed decision. For right now,
my whole thing is my wife watches it, my daughters, but watches it. Different shows, so basically I have to keep it.
I understand. It's interesting because I find myself using it less this year than last year, and less last year than the year before.
See,
I find myself using it less and less, and things like Hulu and BBC. I absolutely do not use one of our F5 Live sponsors to report that I'm in England so that I can watch BBC and Channel 4 content.
Again.
But I find myself using that way more than I do Netflix in particular. Hulu, Amazon Prime, Paramount Plus. I've been using Paramount Plus a whole lot more than I use Netflix.
Yeah, with me, I don't binge, but I basically what I do is that, and this is
Paramount's perfect for you because they release stuff weekly.
I love it. I love Paramount Plus. So basically, I watch. I go to Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO Max. Those are my and Amazon Prime. So those are my 4 or 5 that I do religiously, and I'm. And I love the content across all that. But as far as Netflix, you're right. There's not much content I haven't seen across my eye.
Yeah.
In the past couple of months. But if it was me personally, and I didn't have a daughter and a wife,
you'd have dumped it already.
I would dump it absolutely without question. But
my guess is that I will dump it after Stranger Things ends in June. But there's so many streaming services now, right? There's so many, and they're all competing for a piece of a not growing pie, right? The pie is the same size, And so you've got all these new services. Apple TV Plus won the Oscar over Netflix this year. That's a big deal, right? And so you've got fledgling services that struggle to find who they are or whether there's a market. Quibi was a great example. A couple of years ago, thankfully their content went over to Roku, so I could finish the one episode of Reno 911 that I missed before the service shut down.
Speaking of Quibi, and we're gonna jump into that. We're gonna do an audible because we're in a tight time frame. So we're gonna do an audible in a second. But speaking of Quibi, now they shut down years ago for a short time. Go90 shut down. Also, again, not long as a streaming service, and now there's 3 weeks after streaming service launch, Warner Brothers Discovery announced it's shutting down CNN Plus. Variety broke this news immediately, and then everybody else pretty much follows suit. The service will cease operations on April 30th, according to multiple reports, meaning it will close just after 32 days. CNBC reported,
which I think is 30 days longer than it probably deserved. But
yeah. Agreed. CNBC reporting last week that CNN Plus was pulling in just 10,000 daily users who were willing to pay $6 per month, for exclusive live on-demand interactive news-driven programming. New CNN president Chris Licht, that's not the name, apologize, who was appointed after.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Let's go with Licht.
Okay, sounds good to me. Who was appointed?
You got Licht and Stanky. Let's.
I knew you were going to go there.
Same company.
Right, same company. Who was appointed after Warner Media and Discover merged early this month. It reportedly made the recommendation to kill CNN Plus. Basically, Discover Media was like, Warner Brothers Discover was like, why are you guys doing this? No, but decided to do it anyway. Andrew Morse, the executive vice president who was running CNN Plus, expected to leave Warner Brothers Discovery after a transition period. Reports suggest that there may be. CNN self-noted that Warner Brothers Disney CEO David Zaslav wants to combine the company's content into a single streaming service. CNN had high hopes for the project, invested hundreds. Now, mind you, they started reporting hundreds of $1 million, almost $1 billion into a streaming service, and recruited talent from networks.
300 already. With another 300 per year expected over the next 2 years, for a total of $900 million was the plan for this.
Right.
10,000 subscribers.
Right.
That's $60,000 a month. That's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. So they decided to. Warner Brothers Discovery executives quickly pulled the plug after CNN Plus failed to gain much traction. And who wants to buy? And I got an email. I think
nobody watches it now. The only place CNN exists is in airports,
right,
and dentists' offices.
Right.
They totally So the assessment. I heard a really great assessment on this. Is that they mistook their place in the industry. They have always lived life as part of cable, right? So they made money whether people were watching or not. It was always bundled. This is the first time they actually had to compete in the marketplace, and they found out real quick people don't like them.
Well, not to mention, before I go into this,
$6 is too much.
Before I preface this, when you said dentist office, when I had my oral surgery and I was in the waiting room, CNN was on.
Of course it was, because it's a dentist office. Dentist offices and airports are where CNN exists.
Right. And I'm like, I didn't think much of it, but when you said that, I had to laugh, because I was sitting in the waiting room, just patiently waiting and trusting out and everything. And I look out of the corner of my eye, and there it was, and I'm like.
Well, at least you didn't have to worry about Cuomo, because he was already gone.
Right. But
depending on time of day, you might have had to have suffered through Don Lemon, but that's
right, a whole different story altogether. but my whole thing is that with you're right. There's so many new. When we're talking about streaming services and content, you have like Peacock, and they have MSNBC or Peacock and their news streaming service.
For
You have
$4.99 a month,
right. You have what is it? You have CBS News. You have
which you can get through Paramount Plus.
Exactly. You have ABC News. You have
which you can get through Hulu.
Right. So it's like and which kills me is that they pulled in like Chris Wallace, who's been Fox News for like 20 plus years.
I love that Fox News told him, this is a mistake. We're going to give you the opportunity to change your mind, but know that the door locks behind you on the way out.
Right.
What?
On the way out. Right.
Oh, yeah. We're going to give you the opportunity to change your mind before you leave the building. But when you leave the building, the door is locked behind you.
And they pulled Casey Hunt, and I watch MSNBC and watch all these channels. I'm addicted to it.
I don't know Casey Hunt.
She was on NBC News, then went to MSNBC. She had a show called Way Too Early. It's a politics show, like in the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock hour in the morning.
Woof.
So it's like you have these big name talent going over to CNN Plus, and then think it's going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. And like you said, I didn't watch it. I got an email, I think a couple of days before it launched, so they were giving me half off, and I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah, because it's not worth $3 either.
Right. So
because again, the only time people watch it is when they're forced to.
Right.
No, nobody voluntarily watches CNN.
Right.
And I don't think they knew that. If you do a survey of TV viewers, what you find out is nobody watches CNN. There is a morning streaming show. I won't give his name, but there's a morning streaming show, daily streaming show that is behind a paywall that more people watch than CNN on cable.
I think I know what it is.
They simply don't have the clout that they thought they had. And it's insane to me that they were so far off on reality. But they're having to compete for the first time, and then they're finding out that there is no competition.
And they found out the hard way.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to call it audible, and this is going to be in the show notes. So AT&T reported earnings for the last time, because now Warner Brothers Discovery has them. So they had the reporting their earnings about HBO Max. The numbers did really well in the first quarter.
That's going to be the final thing. HBO Max is going to engulf Discovery Plus and CNN Plus. Yep. The CNN Plus content's not going to go away. It's all going to get rolled into HBO Max. CNN Plus is going to go away. They're going to figure out how to, reshuffle all the stuff, because HBO Max isn't designed for live content. They'll figure out how to bring all that together. And once they figure it out, it'll be a section of HBO Max. That's my guess on what's going to happen.
That's what they're talking about, incorporating a lot of like Anthony Bourdain. They want to incorporate that into HBO Max and other shows.
A great idea.
Yeah. Also, there's a news about workers in an Apple store in Atlanta have filed for a union election with the National Labor Relations Board.
Be interesting to see how that goes.
Also, where'd it go? Okay, I just lost my script there for a second. Okay. Also in the show notes, worldwide smartphone shipments fell 11% year over year. Story on that.
Phones haven't been that interesting.
Right.
This is the first time that my daily driver is not the current model. In like 20 years. This is the first time that my daily driver is a generation behind. And not just because I don't have something to review right now. That's a bonus, but I didn't go out and get the current one like I used to do, because they're just not that interesting.
Yeah, it's been kind of mute. Well, the Google Pixel 6 Pro has been slashed and or
I like
and
that you said pickle. Continue.
pixel. Pixel. See, you're again off the rails. Pixel. Google Pixel 6 Pro. So that's slasher prices. Um, Also in the news, there's 2 lawsuits been filed against Amazon after a tornado in December caused the collapse of a warehouse in Edwardsville, Illinois. They allege Amazon failed to protect its employees through negligence. Um,
Meanwhile,
so
they're also having another union vote.
Right, exactly. Also, if also in the show notes, if you have an old TV or an old appliance and want to get rid of it, Best Buy is offering a takeaway and recycle your unwanted tech and appliances for $199 for a fee.
They'll take your TV and your money. My recommendation is find an organization in your area. Like we have eSmart Recycling here in this area, and get it to them. They're doing good in the community as opposed to who knows what Best Buy is doing with your stuff.
Yeah, there's a recycling community area near me, so there's plenty of places that you can go to recycle your gear, your tech, and what have you, or just sell it.
Yeah.
Also up, Sony is reportedly working to bring advertisements to free-to-play PlayStation games.
And Microsoft.
And Microsoft.
They're both talking about it. We'll go into detail on this on F5 Live this week.
Yep. Also, speaking of Disney.
And it doesn't have to just be free-to-play games, by the way.
Okay.
They're going to make it available to developers in general. I just wrote about this. We just published it on Plunkett's Live. Cool. Microsoft and Sony are both doing it. And it's not just for free to play. It's going to be games in general.
Okay.
Yeah, so interesting to see.
Yep, definitely.
They're taking slightly different approaches, and we'll get into the details on it.
Yep, so definitely check it out on Sunday night. Speaking of Disney, earlier on Tuesday, Disney has confirmed an issue impacting its Disney Plus service that led to missing episodes for a number of popular series on the service, including those from Disney, Pixar, and Marvel properties. I'm not going to go through a whole list of episodes, but they're supposedly working on a problem. Apparently, also, there's some Facebook group members saying that this is that while this may be a tech issue, some people are saying that they're planning to move their shows over to Hulu. And it's just a mess, basically.
Yeah, I don't suspect that both platforms will exist forever.
Yeah,
that's my guess. I don't know that that's true. And I have very little to go on with that, but I don't suspect that both services are going to exist forever.
Yeah. There's a lot of So the full news on that is in the show notes. Okay. All right. And finally, so we're all going into food again, food and tech. So this is great. I love this. And I giggled and I cracked up when I saw this because I could not believe this when I saw it. Primarily, this is not I'm going to preface this because there's a guy by the name, or excuse me, a professor from Meiji University who created the lickable TV. That's not the story, okay? But I just want to preface this because it's really funny, okay? So this guy.
So what you're saying is there's a trend.
Yeah, not really a trend, but I think it's kind of interesting. And see, and that guys,
a trend in this guy's research.
So for those who are listening and watching, because Scott, I pull the stories before, and I give him the topics and we're covering that's been reported on. And there are a lot of times I look to Scott because sometimes he like giggles or he's like, what? Or, I
already know where this story is.
Okay.
I read this earlier today.
Did you? Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, okay, good. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys this, give me a second. I'm going to show you guys this, this because this is the lickable TV. And the purpose of this, well, let me preface this by saying this because this guy,
it's perfect in these times of COVID to be in public licking a television. There's nothing terrible about that idea.
No. So basically he presented, this was reported, when was this? This was reported back in December of last year. Okay, it's not long ago. So he presented Taste of TV. Basically, it's a set where you can lick the flavor of whatever on screen. The prototype sends electrical signals to 10 flavor canisters to create unique sprays that cover a film overlay. And so basically, I'm not going to show the video because I don't want it to crash. Okay. But basically, this is an odd product. With that in mind, okay.
What other weird thing can you lick?
With that in mind, okay, this is nothing to do with licking anything, but
It kind of is.
Well,
it kind of is.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, researchers in Japan had developed a set of electric chopsticks they claim can enhance the taste of salt. The device is attached to a wristband computer. It uses electrical stimulation to transmit sodium ions from food to the ears and mouth. The he developed the chopsticks with food and drink. They partnered with food and drink maker Kirin. I don't know if I pronounced it right. The researchers say the chopsticks can enhance the perceived saltiness of low sodium foods by about 1.5 times. Reuters is noting that the traditional Japanese diet skews towards salty flavors. A typical Japanese adult consumes around 10 grams of salt per day, twice the level that the World Health Organization recommends. High sodium intake is linked to increased risk of stroke.
The World Health Organization recommends as a maximum, by the way, not just recommends. They say 5 is your recommended maximum for the day, and the average Japanese person's like, no, double.
Right. So basically,
that's because soy is a huge part of the Japanese diet.
Exactly. High sodium intake is linked to increased risk of stroke, high blood pressure, and other conditions.
Heart attack.
Pretty much, yeah. Artificially enhancing the saltiness of dishes can make it easier for people to opt for low sodium options without the skimp on flavor. Mishata, and Kirin have also discussed using a tech in spoons and tea bowls. They're refining the prototype of the chopsticks and aim to start selling the product as soon as next year. I have to say, first of all, I don't have the dexterity to function with electric chopsticks. I like a fork. Also, if they are at CES next year, we're doing an interview with them.
Oh, 100%. I will have these on day one. One way or another, I will have these on day one, even if I have to have my friend June buy them in Japan and send them to me.
If I will
have them.
Yes, I'm making sure, because we get the press release emails, myself, Scott, everybody on CPN gets the press emails, coming to their booths, what have you. If I see them, I'm going to make my mission to get them an interview on our set.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to go over, if they're over at Eureka Park, or if they're at LVCC or wherever, we're going to bring our camera crew. We're going to go nuts. We're going to go nuts.
100%. It's going to happen.
So we're going to keep an eye on this. I'm making sure that, this is why when I saw this, partly not necessarily for the chopsticks per se, because it's weird in a somewhat way, but when I saw, and I had no idea that he made a lickable TV.
Yeah,
that was it. I was like, I chuckled. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah, it's all so weird.
Oh,
and
my
I
goodness.
absolutely have to have a set of these.
Yeah, agreed.
Right from the beginning.
Yep.
I will, if it takes more than a week from the day they launch for me to own one of these, I'm going to be furious.
Yep. I'm with you.
I plan on messaging my friend June.
Yeah.
As soon as we're done and being like, hey, bud, here's what's going to happen.
Yep.
If I can't get one officially, you're going to get it and send it to me.
Yep. I'm definitely in. I'm definitely in. I'm going to keep an eye. When we get off the air, and I'm going to bookmark, not going to say bookmark it, but I'm going to see if I can get the email. If there is an email for this guy, he's coming on. Yeah, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to get an interview with him. We're going to bring the crew, our crew over, a camera crew over there. If we have to
try these things. I have to try them
because I can't. I have like dexterity issues with those things. I remember eating chopsticks when I was a kid. I gave up after a couple seconds. I'm a fork all the way.
I'm fine with it. I'm in.
All right. Deal.
I'm annoyed that I don't already have a pair.
Deal. So we're definitely going to.
I cook with chopsticks.
Do you really? Okay.
Yeah. I'm annoyed that I don't already own a pair of these. I understand that they're not even made yet.
Right.
I'm annoyed that I don't already have one.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm like I said, I'm like really, I'm definitely going to make sure that I'm going to make a mission.
One mission attached to a wristband computer. I can't wait to see that part.
That would be so cool to have that on set. Oh, that'd be awesome. Do a live demo. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
That would be fantastic. Oh, yeah, that would be so fantastic to see that. Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna bookmark this. I'm definitely gonna make sure put this on my calendar. Put me off the air. Definitely do it. Okay, cool. Okay, all right. And with that, that is the tech news for this week for Friday, April 22nd, 2022. Thank you so much for tuning in for this week's episode. Showing us from this episode, again, all the tech news can be found at gnspeaker.com. This is episode 104. Also, be sure to check out the latest tech news and commentary from geeknewscentral.com. And be sure to tune in Mondays and Thursday evenings at geeknewscentral.com/live for the Geek News Central podcast. And then be sure to watch and tune in at gnsweekly.com/live Friday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, if you are new to podcasts, be sure to like and subscribe to the GNCWI channel on YouTube. Also, please make sure to click on the bell and always select notifications so you will not miss the next episode. Also, be sure to share this episode with the people you know and check out the podcast and pass along the word that this podcast is easy to subscribe to on your favorite podcast app. And be sure to tune in to F5 Live Refreshing Technology with Scott and Abram Pilch, Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Be at f5live.tv/join us, or be sure to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you have a comment on this week's episode, we would love to hear them. Head on over to gncweekly.com/connect and catch via email, Twitter, or Facebook. Don't forget the giveaways to the end of this month. The drawing will be Friday, May 6th. We'll draw one winner. So good luck to all that enter. And don't forget to fill out the survey. Plugitslive.com/audience. I'm on Twitter. I'm at Kirk Corliss. Scott is on Twitter at @CCMABO. Till the next episode of GNC Week in Review. So long.
Ciao.